Honorable Presiding Member, today I'm taking part in this adjournment debate whilst the Tamil people of the Northeast and the world over commemorate what we call the Mullivaikal Tamil Genocide Day. It is a day that is the blackest in the Tamil political calendar, and it is a day that brings a lot of memories, that makes the Tamil people, no matter where they are, politicized. Because when the war came to an end in May 2009-18, there was a moment where the Sri Lankan state could have tried to convince the Tamil people that it is willing to change, that supporting an armed struggle was something that was unnecessary, that Sri Lanka can in fact change so that it becomes inclusive, where the Tamil people can call Sri Lanka as much as their home as the Sinhalese and maybe others living in this island do. But that did not happen. That did not happen, and 13 years down, if you ask an old lady who owned 20 acres in Kerpapulavu, which is in Mullaitivu, which is currently under military occupation, who has been now relegated to quarter an acre, her reply is that she wished she did not come out of Mullivaikal alive. So that is the failure, Honorable Presiding Member, that Sri Lanka is, that the political culture of Sri Lanka is, and the people to blame are the custodians of this state, that is you, all of you who inhabit this house and who have held political office. For the Tamil people, 13 years after the end of the war, to feel that they miss the LTT more than ever, I think is an indictment that you will continue to face until you seriously think of changing. And I'm saying all of this, it is telling that I'm saying all of this today, when we are debating the terrible loss that several members of this House, several members of parties that belong to this House faced, and that a lot of the members here are reeling at the violence against the establishment that took place. And I'm saying this, Honourable Presiding Member, I said about Tamil genocide and the fact that 13 years down the road we have not learnt a single lesson. I say this because when people become disenfranchised, when people feel that the state is not there for them, when people feel that the enemy is the state and that they have nowhere to turn to, then they will turn against the state. They will turn against the state, and you can call that organized, you can call that unorganized, you can delude yourselves in blaming various people, but the fact of the matter is no one outside this house has any sympathy for the damage and the loss that has been suffered by members of this house or by political party members that belong to this house. That is the reality that we are facing today. So it is up to the custodians of this state, which is primarily the Sinhalese Buddhist people who hold high office, to at least now rethink that they go to their own electorates, whether it be the Sinhalese or the Sinhalese going to even the Tamils, and saying that we are going to take a step back and that we are going to in fact change. We are going to in fact change in a way that the ordinary people are enfranchised. And I say this, Honourable Presiding Member, as a party. Let me just give you a good example of our own party. Our party is considered as a hardline party. Our party is considered a Tamil nationalist party that is inflexible, that does not compromise. And we were routed when we left the TNA in 2010. We were routed at the elections. But we kept telling our people that the Sinhalese leaders will never deliver. When the TNA tried to tell the Tamil people that there could be a change, even with the Rajapaksas in power then, and certainly after that in 2015 when the Maithripala Sirisena Ranil Wickremesinghe government came into power, what we said is that there will be no change at all. There will be no change at all. You will have individuals like the Honourable Lakshman Kiriyalla, who even today, without any qualms, will stand up and say he's for federalism. But those are individuals. Those are individuals. The system is the same. And that there is no change. And it is because of that, that the TNA, which kept telling our people, no, there will be change, there will be change, is today diminishing. And our party that tells the truth is growing. It is the same logic that you face with your own electorate.
Honourable Member, you have 2 minutes.
Yeah, today is not an era where we rely on print media to get news, where you control the media, where you can try and brainwash. Those days are gone. Today is an era when people actually, other than members of this house, outside, are far more literate, are far more with it, are capable of seeing what is happening in every corner of the world, are capable of comparing, us with others who lead various countries. And we are failing every time. What you did to the Tamil people, you're doing to your own people. You're disenfranchising your own people. And it is because you're disenfranchising your own people that the violence took place. You thought you can teach those who are non-violently protesting a lesson or two, and you got it. And you will keep getting it. You will keep getting it. If you do not understand that this government headed by the president must go, and that is the primary political unrest that today exists in this country, you will get it not once but 100 times over. Honourable Ranil Wickremesinghe has taken over the mantle of Prime Ministership. He's been accused, including our party is accusing him, of safeguarding this failed president and this failed government. He could have waited. He could have waited. No one denies his expertise. No one denies his experience. No one denies that he can contribute quite considerably to change the economy of this country. But instead, he chose to rush in.
Lakshman Kiriyalla Mattama.
Just speaking, give that time to him, sir.
How many
Thank
minutes?
you, sir.
How many minutes?
Aminda Vijayasiri is not speaking. Kindly give his time to the honourable member who is speaking.
Thank you, sir. The Honourable Prime Minister has taken over the mantle at a time when the Gotabaya Rajapaksa presidency was about to go, when it was limping, when it was gasping for breath. That is the time that a person who belongs to a party that did not win a single member from an electorate, only managed to get a national list, and that too a gentleman who came into this house so many months after he got that national list was given to his party, takes the position of Prime Ministership when his older party or members of his older party that now form the primary opposition could have formed government. The Honourable Prime Minister could have played a very substantive role if he had waited waited for that change to take place, but he didn't. He didn't. Instead, today he shares the biggest blame for sustaining the Rajapaksas and most importantly the presidency. And that is what the people outside are watching. So if the Honorable Prime Minister wants to save his own skin, then he must make sure that that political change takes place. That political change takes place. No matter how intelligent he may be, no matter how experienced he may be, if he does not have the backing of the people, he cannot possibly survive. Nor can his changes ever come fruit. And it is here, Honourable Presiding Member, that I ask the Honourable Prime Minister for his political ambitions, or for his party's political ambitions, that if he wants to continue to remain somewhat credible, then he must make sure that he backs the right party, that he backs the right changes, that he backs the right decisions. Not only the decisions he makes with regards to the economy, but the political decisions. His track record has been a disaster. If that doesn't change, that disaster will be not just for himself, but it will be a nail in the coffin of the democracy of this country. And that will be the legacy that he leaves behind. Whilst I have personal respect for him,
Honourable Member, please wind up.
Whilst I am winding up, sir. Whilst I have personal respect for him, let me say this, sir. Sri Lanka is at the crossroads. You have lost the Tamil people. You have lost the Muslim people. The Muslim people who backed you when you waged war against the Tamils, today are disenfranchised because you have chosen to go against them. Today are losing your own people. You're losing your own people. And your own people will turn violent. Your own people will turn violent. If it's not by themselves, then it will be by someone who is prepared to give leadership to it. And don't say that that is undemocratic. What we are doing here is what is undemocratic.
Please wind up.
Thank you, sir.